Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. As you know, I am your host, Khalil. With me, as always, I got my guy, Daywan.
Let's get it.
This guy, man. He's feeling real good
I'm a clown.
Since the Celtics finally beat the Cavs. You know, we got a lot to talk about with the NBA playoffs going on around the hardwood. We're going to discuss all four playoff series. One has now concluded. Another has a possibility to conclude tonight as we're doing this podcast. And we have a couple more games headed into the weekend, as well as the Donovan Mitchell and Cash drama. You know, her reports that, you know, he may win out, or, you know, there's a bunch of issues going on there. We're going to touch on what they got going on over there in Cleveland, as well as, you know, just discuss what we've seen from Caitlin Clark in her first two games, her debut Tuesday night, and she had another game tonight. So we're just going to give our thoughts and opinions on that as well. Finishing up with a big heavyweight fight this weekend. Tyson Fury taking on Alexander Usyk for their undisputed heavyweight championship. So we got a lot to talk about there. But without further ado, take it away, Daywan.
Hey, welcome to episode 64. Let's kick it off with NBA playoff action around the hardwood. First, let's talk about the playoff series that had now concluded. The Boston Celtics get the Cavs up out of here, up in 5 games via gentleman's sweep and a 4-1 series win. But Boston struggled the last 3 games to get rid of the Cavs, who were injury depleted, without Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Caris LeVert, and other players as well. What's your thoughts on this series that is finally over now, Khalil?
I mean, I really don't know. Like, I guess my biggest issue is how close the games was, and it wasn't blowouts. Yeah, they won by 15, but at one point it was a 1-point game in the fourth quarter, and then they came down and ran away with it. But, you know, they got contributions from essentially all 5 starters. Derek White, 18, Jaylen Brown, 11, Drew Holiday, 13, Horford, 22. He kind of turned back the time. You know, he made some big shots in that fourth quarter. And Jason Tatum chipped in with 25-point double-double, near triple-double. He had 9 assists to go along with 10 rebounds. But I really don't know. Like we've been discussing this Celtics team. I always had it as a gentleman's sweep because Boston's going to give you a Boston game, and they gave you that in game 2 when they lost to the Cavs. I have my own gripes about this team. I think eventually they're going to need to get Porzingis back in the lineup if they're going to want to win a championship. But for where they stand right now with the team that they have, you know, I really don't see, you know, a test until then. Because the next series, you're either going to get a Pacers team that plays right into Boston hands and want to get up and down the floor. And you know Boston likes to get up a lot of shots anyway, and the Pacers really not that good at defending. Or you're gonna get a a New York Knicks team who's injury depleted themselves with big, you know, they lost about four rotational players, you know, alone this year. You know, that could be contributing to this team. So they're already going to have a shortened bench, and you know the minutes start to add up over time. So we're going to see what they look like, you know, if they advance past the Indiana Pacers. So I really don't think they're going to really get a challenge until they get to the NBA Finals. And we're going to see who gets there, Mavs, Thunder, you know, Timberwolves, or Nuggets. Still wait and see. But I think that's when their real test is going to come. Hopefully, you know, they're peaking once that time gets here. But, you know, they have some ups and downs that they got to get over. But they did what they had to do, took care of them in 5, like they're supposed to do, especially when you don't have 3 pretty much starters in the lineup. You do what you had to do and get them out of there.
My opinion, besides game 1 and besides game 3, Cleveland had their nose in every one of these games with Boston. There's games, like Khalil said, it should have been absolute blowouts. I said this about Boston. They live and die by the 3. But they just play it bad. You can tell they miss Kristaps Porzingis in this lineup. They need him back now. Like, I hope his calf is good soon, whatever's wrong with him. I hope he gets well soon because this team needs him now. There's no reason why an injury depleted Cavs team should stuck around this long. Like, at points, like Donovan Mitchell, he hurt his calf in game 3. He missed games 4 and game 5. They already were missing Jared Allen. Caris LeVert got hurt earlier in the series as well. We saw other players on Wednesday night getting hurt as well, like Darius Garland and other players. This team was just shaking up from the jump. And it fell right into Boston's favor. But if this is a better team, I mean, we might be going to a game 7 because Boston, they did not play great at all. Like the Cavs snuck their way back into a lot of these games. As a Celtics fan, I'm happy we moved on, but do we deserve to move on? No. But like Khalil said, whoever Boston sees in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's probably gonna be another. I don't want to say this, but it's probably gonna be another cakewalk to the NBA Finals. But they're gonna have their work cut out for them definitely once the NBA Finals definitely comes. So, hey, kudos to Boston for making it, but I'm not impressed. Not gonna lie.
And I'm really not either, but you already know, some of the gripes I got about this team. I can keep reiterating Joe Mazzulla, but
I
it's
was
neither
say
here nor there.
I'm with you, Joe Mazzulla. I cannot stand him. He's on my list officially by now. By the way, guys, Joe Mazzulla is now on my shit list. I do not like him. I don't care if he's my favorite team's head coach. He just garbage. The stuff he says at the press
Don't
conference, like bro, shut
don't
up.
listen.
I'll literally smack that little ass goatee off his face. So like he's so corny. He's so lame. I don't
They
like
want
him.
a they want a Joe Mazzulla fan. Don't let him fool
I
y'all.
hate
Like
Joe Mazzulla.
he was backing him up when I was trash talking to him, so I don't want to
That's
hear it.
not true. See, don't do that. Don't do that.
They happy they got rid of Ime.
No, I love Ime Udoka. He's doing his thing in Houston right now. Houston gonna be a team to mess with in the future. Pause. No Diddy.
Yeah, because it's Dylan Brooks.
Anyway, on to the next series. We're gonna stay with the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks are now up 3-2 after a win over the Indiana Pacers on Tuesday. Their next game is later this week as well. Khalil, do you think the Knicks can close it out, or do you think this goes to a game 7?
I got to go in 7. I think it goes 7. I think it's tough though. It's a tough situation. The only reason why I say that is because this team gets some much needed rest. You get, the extra day off instead of having to play every other day. They got 2 days off, given the Caitlin Clark hype. It was our first home game, so they got to push the game back till Friday. So I think that does benefits the Knicks in a good way. But I think Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, them boys gonna come out ready to play and try to make a statement. And they're not gonna go down without a fight. I think this series goes back to New York, and New York closes it out in 7 in a hard fought series. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things is though, like even looking back on the game on Tuesday, it's Tyrese Halliburton just got to be better. I'm like, he only took
I
9 shots, bro.
I've
How
been saying
you?
that. I said that. He don't got that dog in him. He only got it when he's up.
How are you an all-star player, an arguably an all NBA player? We're gonna see where he falls when the NBA all NBA rankings come out, and you only take 9 shots, and
Yeah.
then you only give him 5 assists as well. And one of the biggest things with you that made you so dynamic is the fact that you can play making stuff like that, and you only gave him 5 assists. But I think if they're going to win, Tyrese Halliburton is going to be the X factor. He just has to be better. I don't know what it is about, when he played at home. When at home, he looked good. But on the road, he just
Facts.
hasn't looked too good. So let's see if he can clean it up and be better at home and then try to be better if they can steal that game at home. See if they can still win on the road to, advance to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. I think it really just relies on Tyrese Halliburton and how much he can give you on the offensive end. Another thing as well is can the Pacers stop the Knicks from rebounding because they got out rebounded in this game 29-53.
Oh yeah.
That's just effort. That's just effort. That's piss poor. Isaiah Hartenstein had 12 offensive rebound alone. Jalen Brunson's gonna be Jalen Brunson. He had 44 points. He returned back to his form that he was before. But like I said, it's all about effort. Like you cannot, as a team, get out rebounded by what 24 rebounds.
Yeah, it was a
That's
lot, dude.
just horrible, bro. That's just effort at that point. So they got to be better all around, especially on the glass if they actually want to get this game to 7 and eventually win Game 7 and in New York.
The Pacers, they reeled themselves back in the series after going down. But game 5, they look terrible. They look like they didn't want to beat her. And like I said this before, and I'll say it again, Tyrese Halliburton, he don't got that dog in him. He only got it in him when he's up or when everything's going in his favor. He's not built like that, in my opinion. He's a lot left to develop in this league. I mean, he's going to be an all-NBA player this year, but he has not too long way to go, but he has a while to go until he's up there. But regardless, he's a great player. But the Knicks just killed him all around, and the Knicks are injury depleted. They're missing a lot of key rotational players, like Khalil mentioned earlier, and they're just hanging in there, and they're putting up points at the Pacers, out rebounding them, play great on defense. They're just doing what they have to do. At the end of the day, though, and no, I'm not saying this because I'm a Boston fan. Whatever team goes to the Eastern Conference Finals out of this series, probably gonna give Boston a tiny bit of run, but they're not touching the NBA Finals. Hey, if they do, I'll put a house payment on it. I'm being for real. Like, I doubt they even do that, bro. But yeah, this is a solid series, but I got the Knicks losing game 6. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta go into 7 games. I feel like the Pacers are gonna bounce back. Gonna be back at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. They're gonna turn up. Hopefully we see a great Tyrese Halliburton show. And I feel like the Pacers are gonna step up. They're gonna get that dub. So I'm gonna say I'm looking forward to game 7. I know we had game 6, but I'm looking forward to game 7 because I just think game 7 is gonna happen. All right, let's move on to the next series. The Dallas Mavericks. They are now up 3-2 after a win on Wednesday night. Dallas could have won on Monday night and won the series by now, but Luka Doncic, he folded and missed clutch free throws at the end. My thoughts on this series is that Dallas is as good as who they say they are. Dallas is a great team. Again, I've been raving about this team. I said they were one of my sleeper teams. They're one of my wildcard teams. They have potential. They were the 5th seed in the West this year, but they were a very good 5th seed. But Dallas was a very good 5th seed. I don't knock them at all. Luka showed you why he's a top 5 player in this league. He lit it up. And again, I talked about the Oklahoma City Thunder as well prior to the playoffs. I said this team's ceiling, they're too young. And I know Khalil's a fan of them. They're just a little too young. I see their ceiling as the Western Conference Finals. Can they make it there? If they win game 6 in Dallas, that's going to be tough. But if they can do it, I don't know, because Dallas is on a roll. They've been good at home. So, again, OKC, young, great team. The experience not there yet. Great head coach, but the experience with him is not there yet either. I can see Dallas. I said OKC in 7, but Dallas definitely has a chance to close it out in game 6 at home. So, hey, great game, great series, but Dallas could have had this over in 5. Things happen for a reason, so we just on to game 6. Let's see what happens next.
I think the biggest thing for real, when looking at this game is like Shea needs help. Shea needs help.
Yeah.
Lou Dort, 4 for 11, 12 points. Jalen Williams, 6 for 13, 12 points. Chet Holmgren, 5 for 11, 13 points. You need more than that. We need somebody in to get in the 20 point range if they even want to have a chance to win. Another thing, why are you tied 2-2 back home and then you take Josh Giddey out the lineup? Not only that, you play him in 12 minutes. I don't know what the hell is going on, but he needs more minutes, bro. It's ridiculous. He played 12 minutes, had 11 points, shot 5 for 8, 1 for 3 from the 3. You need another playmaker. He's the second playmaker on this offense. Really, mainly, he really is the point guard of this team. If I want to be honest, Shea is technically the point guard, but Josh Giddey does more of the playmaking. And like I said, bro, in 12 minutes he gave you 11 points, and then you sit there and not play him. That's just ridiculous. That is honestly unexplainable. Like, I don't know what Mike Dagnall is doing when he decided to put Isaiah Joe in the lineup and he only give you 2 for 9, 2 for 8 from the 3 and 6 points. Giddey outscored him in 10 minutes less. So like, that's just mind-boggling. Another thing with this Thunder team, they averaged 39% shooting from the 3-point line, and they only shot 25%. Not only did you shoot 25%, you took 43s. OKC is not a team that shoots 43s. So that just goes to show that, Dallas put them in situations where they're not used to being because, like I said, this team is more efficiency more than volume, and they've been inefficient in shooting a high volume of threes, kind of like Boston, what they do. And this is not how this team is made up. So, like I said, this team wants to, win game 6 and potentially game 7. You have to be better from the 3-point line. I think you have to play Josh Giddey some more, put him back. I don't know why you take him out the starting lineup. That was ridiculous in its own right. Still, I'm still scratching my head about that. And you need Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren to show up. If both of them can, that's ideal, but at least one of them. I at least need some production from one of them. So that's my thoughts and opinions on that. They just have to be better.
All right, let's move on to the last series we're going to talk about in the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves are now down 3-2 after losing game 5 to the Denver Nuggets. But currently, as we're doing this podcast, in game 6, the Minnesota Timberwolves are up big on the defending champions. Khalil, do you see the series going to game 7, or do you think Denver could close it out as we're doing this podcast right now?
I do think this game goes to a game 7. Right now, it's currently halftime. The score is 40-59. So the Timberwolves are up by 19. Right now, the Denver Nuggets are not having a good shooting day right now. They're shooting 31% from the field, 19% from the three. You got 0 points from your bench, being Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown. Jamal Murray's 1 for 10 right now. He's pretty solid right now. He's 7 for 14 for 16 points. So he's shooting about a 50% clip. Michael Porter Jr. 3 for 6. But yeah, I think this game goes back into game 7, back in Denver. I got Denver clutching it in game 7. I just want to look back on game 5 for a little bit. And the fact that your defensive player of the year, Dajuan's defensive player of the year, he hadn't won a defensive player of the year.
I might get into it with you, bro.
Did you not? Did you not? Did you
Continue,
not?
please. Please continue.
Did you not? He got cooked. Jokic, anytime Jokic got the switch with him on it, all he thought was barbecue chicken, yams, mac and cheese, neck bones, oxtails, braised
Greens,
lamb,
beans,
like
potato, tomato, lamb, ram, hog.
all that. He did whatever. Pause. He did whatever he wanted to do to him, pretty much. He's out there finger rolling, hook shot, whatever. He shot 8 for 9 with Rudy Gobert as the primary defender. And just to think about it, your defensive player of the year, the best game this Timberwolves team had defensively was without you in the lineup. So that just goes, I'm not saying anything, but just to say this team played better without you in the lineup. I don't know. Maybe you should go on paternity leave if they want to win Game 7. But I definitely do got them finishing out Game 6 while they're up 19 points at half, and going into Denver. But I don't see them winning another game in Denver again. So I got Nuggets in 7.
I said, hey, after going down 0-2, the Nuggets, they came out hot. They won 3 straight. But Game 6, as we're doing this podcast right now, they're just missing shots. They're horrible from 3. They turn the ball over. Jokic is the only one pretty much showing up for this team. They need the support cast to step up big time. The Minnesota just can't miss. They're very efficient with the ball. Ant-Man is killing it. They're playing great defense with the towers in the paint. I do see the series going to 7 right now, but I did say Denver in 6. They had a chance to close out right now, but they're playing really horrible as we're doing this podcast. But all in all, it's going to be a great series. Whoever moves on to the Western Conference Finals, which I think is going to be Denver in 7. Denver's going to go back home for Game 7. They're going to finish it out here. I think Denver goes back to the NBA Finals. But again, they got to get past the Minnesota Timberwolves, as I said, prior to the series starting. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that segment that we just did. NBA playoff talk around the hardwood. Give us your thoughts and opinions about each series that's going on. How you guys feel about the Boston Celtics after defeating a struggling, injury-depleted Cleveland Cavaliers team? Do you feel confident about them in the Eastern Conference Finals? How do you feel about the Pacers and Knicks? Do you think that series goes to 7? Or do you think the Knicks can finish it off in Indiana? How do you feel about the Mavs and the Thunder? Can Dallas actually beat the Mavs in 6, or will the Thunder force a Game 7? And how you feel about the Wolves and Nuggets? Can Denver finish it off in Game 7, heading back home after probably a Game 6 loss? Leave that all in the comment section below. All right, sticking with the NBA, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who just lost to the Boston Celtics in 5 games. Apparently, there's reports of Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers. There's a lot of animosity between Donnie and the Cavs, as Donovan Mitchell recently said, or there's reports that come out saying that Donnie grew frustrated with the team. They weren't listening. They weren't taking things seriously, in his opinion, during the playoffs. And to y'all, is this hinting at a departure of Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers? Donnie, again, he gave his all for this whole playoffs. He played. He was gassed. Like, you can see him during the Celtics series. This man was gassed. He's pretty much carrying this whole team. But let's be real. Donovan did the same thing leaving Utah. He said he didn't like the organization after a certain point. He felt like players weren't cohesive enough for him. But this is a man who's a mole sometimes. Like, you see Donovan Mitchell, he takes over 20 shots a game. Like, he's a shooting guard, but bro, you have other players around you that can contribute as well. Bro, and his shooting efficiency, it can be better. Donovan Mitchell is definitely a top 5 player at his position. But to say this after they lose, I mean, it makes you think, like, did he just not want to play anymore during the playoff series against Boston? Was he faking his injury? I don't think so personally, but, people out there are going to say that. Regardless, though, I could see this. I mean, I don't think he's going to come back to Cleveland after this year anyway. The writing was just on the wall. I think he's going to go to the Knicks or go to L.A. somehow, some way, end up over there in L.A. But this report that came out, I'm really not surprised. I mean, apparently there's tension between him and Darius Garland and other players on the team, and Donnie wants to be a leader, but people aren't accepting of him being a leader pretty much. He felt some type of way. You can see it on his face the whole time during the playoff series, but I'm not really surprised. But this goes down to the Cavs organization, the front office. Are you going to keep Donovan Mitchell and sign him to a new deal, or are you going to keep Darius Garland? So one got to stay, one got to go. There's clearly a rift between those two players, so that's what the organization has to decide on whether they want to keep or not. But honestly, I think Donnie's out of there.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is a number one on a championship winning team. That's just my personal opinion. He hasn't been past the second round of the playoff yet. As him being the number one option, him and Garland just do not work together. Garland just does not know how to play with Donovan Mitchell. He kind of defers a little way too much compared to when you seen the 2 games without him. He was a lot more aggressive. He was a lot more assertive offensively, and I think he's just a lot way more timid and try to be a traditional point guard when he's not there. But another thing, Jared Allen, there's some issues within the organization with him as well, given the fact that he missed the last I think 8 games with a rib injury. He did
Yeah.
not shoot up. He did not want to take the painkillers and try to play through it or anything like that. So that's another gripe that a lot of players are looking at him sideways, like, bro, we're supposed to be out here doing whatever to try to win these basketball games, and you're not willing to sacrifice, to play. And that's the biggest. I think that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way because we hear about it all the time. You see the plethora of injuries that Luka is dealing with right now, and he's still out there playing, giving it his all. And you're making an excuse about a rib injury. Where you could definitely shoot up Toradol or whatever they give you nowadays and go out there and play. But you question how much he wants to be in it as well. LeBron was at Cleveland Cavaliers game, so people are trying to flirt with the idea that he may want to go back to Cleveland. I don't see that happening. I think he want to stay in LA. Goat James, Hollywood James. He want to be out there shooting movies and everything like this guy. This guy. He does all this, but never mind. I'm not even going to say
Don't,
too
no,
much.
see, keep
I'm not.
going. You
I'm
about to do too much. You
not.
doing too much. See, I knew you were gonna do that. You doing too much.
You
Oh, yeah,
doing
go ahead.
all this and all like, come on, bro. And I'm doing too much. All right, bro.
You doing too
All I
much.
did was say the man name. All I did was say the man name. This man done got hard over here. Like, god damn, relax,
Whoa,
bro.
see, yo,
Relax. Relax. We know how y'all brown sexuals get, dog. Relax, bro.
chill
But
out, gang.
anyway, they did. The Lakers are one of the teams that's in a running to try to get Donovan Mitchell if he is on the market, and I can see that happening. I think that's more likely than LeBron going to the Cavs, but I just don't see this Cavs team going anywhere. Especially, I think the East gets better next year. Boston's gonna be Boston. Philly, yeah, I don't know, but they got a cap space, so they may add a Paul George or something like that. To add another star, given the fact of Joel Embiid's injury history. Full year under Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Get back into the groove. Another team, Orlando Magic. They got cap space. They can add another player. The Knicks are going to be healthier next year. So there's going to be a lot of teams coming for that throne for that Eastern Conference title. And I just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for the Cleveland Cavaliers at this point.
So I got a quick question for you. So you at all, because you kind of talked about it when we were going on. You don't at all see LeBron James heading to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, there's speculation that he was there for a reason, and apparently he's there because he probably wants to end his career off in Cleveland. There's a lot of
Well, he was
reports
there
about
for
it, and
Mother's
I'm just
Day.
saying.
He was in Cleveland for Mother's Day. Him and his wife from there. They spent
I
Mother's Day
understand
out
that.
there.
I
Plus,
understand that.
they gave the Lakers a head up. Rich Paul gave the Lakers a head up. But yeah, no, I don't see. I still don't see him going to Cleveland at all. I think he finishes his career out in LA. Shooting movies, doing his production stuff, and everything else, the shop and everything else. He got his family's out there. Bryce is still got another year of high school out there. But yeah, I think that's where he stays. I don't see him going to Cleveland.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that segment. Give us your thoughts and opinions on the recent reports about Donovan Mitchell being unhappy in Cleveland. Where do y'all think Donovan Mitchell ends up? Is he staying in Cleveland? Is he going to LA, or New York, or Philly? Also, what do you think the real problem is? Is it Donnie, or is it Darius Garland, or that organization isn't like putting great players around Donovan Mitchell for him to be great? Also, do you think there's a chance that LeBron James makes his return in Cleveland and ends his career off at the place he started? I want to hear all that in the comment section below. All right, sticking with basketball, but we're going to transition over to the WNBA. Let's talk about the number 1 overall pick for the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. She made a regular season NBA debut on the 14th of May, facing Connecticut. Caitlin dropped 20 points but had 10 turnovers. But also on Thursday night, they faced the New York Liberty, and they got smoked, and Caitlin only had 9 points and 3 turnovers. So let's talk about Caitlin Clark's first 2 games in WNBA. Does this scare you, the first 2 games? Or is just like the rookie warm-up, the growing pains within being a WNBA star now?
I mean, also, here's my thing. It's been a lot as well. I mean, think about it, bro. Just over a month ago, she was playing in the national championship game. Then, because she played in the national championship game, I think like April 4th or something like that. So just over a month ago, she was in a national championship game. Then you turn around from that season, get not even a month off because you got, you go into the draft or you go right into training camp, and then you have your preseason. And now you're in a regular season. That's a lot on a player. Not only that, you're getting a whole bump up in competition. You got a target on your back because, a lot of people, she's third in MVP odds. Like, that's very, very disrespectful. So
It is.
imagine Wemby came into the NBA third in MVP odds.
Yeah.
Like that is, yeah, like that, just to give you a heads up. So like a lot of these players, I feel like taking it as disrespect, as like, yo, there's some real hoopers in this league that really can hoop. Right? When you think about it, it's only 144 players in the W. Out of the 36 players that got drafted, only 13 are on rosters. Just to go to show you how hard it is to actually get into this league, let alone stay in this league. But looking at game 1, you're facing a Connecticut Suns team who was a very good team, who had a good run in the playoffs last year, who I think lost in the semifinals of last year's playoff. In that game, Caitlin Clark went 5 for 15, 4-11 from 3 for 20 points, which led the team in points. But she did have 10 turnovers, which you cannot do. That's a big no-no as you being a guard. I will say, you probably should have a little bit more help, especially from, the former number 1 overall pick and Aaliyah Boston, who only gave you 4 points on 6 shot attempts and 6 rebounds. I think, this team was picking number 1 in the last 2 years for a reason, and they
Yeah.
showed it. So I didn't really have the expectation of them winning it. And then when you fast forward to tonight's game, I mean, you're playing the New York Liberty, who was just in the finals last year, who lost to the Las Vegas Aces, and in this game, she was a little bit better as far as like in the turnover category. She cut that down from 10 to 3. But shooting the basketball, she still wasn't too good. 2 for 8, 1 from 7 from the 3 for 9 points. Well, she did have a better game rebounding and passing the basketball. She had a 6 assists in this game. But this team is just not nowhere on a level of the New York Liberty. And I think they have to figure out how to incorporate her into the W to help her get more easy shots, to let her
Yeah,
get in a
they have
rhythm.
to.
Because the hardest part is that she hasn't been able to get
Yeah.
in a rhythm yet. They
Yeah.
tried to make it a focal point to get Aaliyah Boston in this game, but she didn't shoot too good either. 5 for 15. I think that chemistry for them two really has to be better if this team wants to. I don't see this team, going to the finals or anything like that this year. But for this team to be competitive, be respected in this league, Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark have to find a groove and figure out how they can, play a 2-man game to get each other going and play off each other. And, maybe get Caitlin some easier looks because, like I said, one thing, that's going to happen in the W is that a lot of these women are going to take it personal and they make it their job and their duty to make sure that Caitlin Clark doesn't get anything easy. So we got
Yeah,
to
they push
figure
it
out how
hard.
to get her something easy.
I'm not gonna really be too mad about what I've seen from Caitlin Clark the first 2 games. Again, she just played the national championship like a month and a half ago. What do y'all expect? Like these female basketball players have no break really whatsoever. Like they play the NCAA tournament, then the draft is a couple weeks after that. They got training camp, preseason, and then they're running right into regular season. And the other women's basketball players, they had plenty of time off. So it's like, bro, what y'all expect? Again, I don't condone the 10 turnovers that she had in game 1. Game 2 wasn't really that much, but she's not getting too much help. The former number 1 overall pick from 2023, Aaliyah Boston, she hasn't been doing too hot the first 2 games either. Let's talk about that. But Caitlin Clark, again, she's just still getting acclimated to this league. And I do agree with you, Khalil. If I was a WNBA player, I would be outraged too that this rookie is coming to my league, a league that I've been dominating in or been good in or put my name out there. She's coming in at the third best MVP odds. I'll be like, whoa, I will make her life hell as a defender. And that's what they're going to gun out to do. The WNBA will gun out to make her life hell, whoever plays defense on her. Now, she still got a jump shot. Again, she has to get into a rhythm. We saw her full 4 years at Iowa that the team has to be built around her. But this is the big leagues now, Kate. You got to work with the team around you. But again, I do agree. She has to get in a rhythm. So am I really mad at the first 2 games? Am I really mad at the first 2 games? Not really. It's going to happen. It's growing pains as a rookie. It's only 2 games. Now, if it's like this for the whole season, will I be concerned still? Not too much, because again, it's only year 1. Obviously, America is expecting a lot from her in year 1, as they should. She's a phenomenal basketball player. She's going to keep dominating, but it might not be the same as it was in college. We have to realize that as well. She's still a young lady. She's still a great individual, but this is the big leagues now. So let's give her time to transition into the big leagues, and let's let her develop and better herself as a young lady and as an athlete. Hey, I got a question, bro. In your opinion, I know it's only been 2 games, but in your opinion, what's Caitlin Clark's ceiling in the WNBA? Are you able to answer that at all? Like, do you think
The best player in the league. I mean, that's her ceiling. Is it now? No. Same thing for like Wemby. Like, think about his ceiling as best player in the NBA. But is it going to happen now? No. There's an adjustment period. There's a transition period that has to take place, and once she gets that figured out, um, you know, then the natural maturation is going to happen. I think about it like this. Think about it from like a guy like Steph Curry.
yeah?
Because their games are very similar. When he first got into the league, yes, he was good, but he wasn't the Steph that we knew of. Steph didn't really come on to 2014
I'll
ish,
say 2013, 2014.
2013, 2014 ish when he really started making his name and really started becoming like he was always a very good shooter, but that's when he really became a household name. And people started to be like, oh, this could be the best player in the NBA. And for all that, wasn't he was drafted in the 2009 draft. The biggest thing is really the expectations that's heaped upon this woman to perform at such a high level at so early in a professional career and not give her a maturation process like any other player. But I'm gonna be honest, at the same time, like the W needs her to be good fast. While the iron is still hot, they need her to be good fast because the W has charter flights now, and Caitlin
They get
Clark has
everything.
a sneaker.
They're expanding. The WNBA is
Yeah,
expanding.
they adding 2 more teams now.
Yeah.
All this is on the back of Caitlin Clark and Cameron Brink and Angel Reese,
Angel
Camille
Reese.
Cardoza. They all coming into the league, and like now you got celebrities going like to Chicago Sky games to go see Angel Reese play because Angel Reese has such a big following. So now you have people that's going to start paying more eyes and paying more attention to the game. But that's all predicated on those women performing and being stars, and that's Caitlin Clark as well. Caitlin Clark probably has the biggest pressure out of all of them, given #1 overall draft pick, all time leading scorer in Division 1 history, male or female. So like there's a lot of pressure on her to perform early just to keep the spark going. But I think it's still going to take some time. I think it's still going to take 2 or 3 years before she's in that argument for best woman player in the league because there's still an Aja Wilson out there who's dominating,
Kelsey
who's
Plums.
picking up right where she left off last year, dominating. So that's my
Kelsey
thoughts and opinions.
Plums,
What about
Brianna
you?
Stewart as well, Sabrina Ionescu. There's some dominant players in this league. Y'all gotta
Yeah,
remember that. It's not gonna be the Caitlin Clark show. She's gonna come in and do her thing, but yeah, remember there's some great players in this league. But like I said earlier, I'm not gonna base that off the first 2 games. Yes, a lot of people aren't happy with what we see in the first 2 games, but y'all gotta give her a break, bro. Like it's like the stuff I explained earlier, it all makes sense. I agree with you, bro. Her ceiling is definitely the best player in the WNBA. She has potential. At multiple points, Steph Curry was the best player in the league. Like I love that you bring that comparison up because they're basically darn near the same player. But she just have to keep developing her game just like Steph did. Because Steph is crazy. Like that man could drive, make acrobatic shots, make great passes. He tires his opponents out by running all around in all these circles, and he's a great shot creator. He's a great 3-point shooter. I see a lot of her similarities in Steph's game. but she has to keep growing and learning. And I'm pretty sure Steph's going to coach. He can have the opportunity to coach her up. He's going to do that. But definitely Caitlin Clark's ceiling, in my opinion. I agree with you, bro. Best player in the NBA. And y'all going to see it in a couple years. Just, hey, don't hate on her now. Y'all better hop on the train now. I'm telling you, because she's coming. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that topic in regards to Caitlin Clark's first 2 games in WNBA. How do y'all feel about Caitlin Clark? I know you guys really have a sour taste about her first 2 games, but what do y'all think her ceiling is in the WNBA? How y'all feel about her first 2 games? How y'all think she's going to do in the WNBA that she's now in the big leagues? Leave that all in the comment section below. All right, moving into the last topic of the night. Let's move on to boxing. We got a great matchup heading to us this weekend. Tyson Fury will be defending his super heavyweight championship against Alexander Usyk. The long-awaited matchup that we have been wanting for the last handful of years now is finally here. Khalil, what's your prediction for this fight? Who you got coming out on top and why?
I'm gonna go Alexander Usyk. I think he's just a more well-rounded fighter, a more technical fighter. He's a more seasoned fighter, especially when you look at some of the guys that Fury has fought in the past. When you look at Deontay Wilder, besides that right hand, what else does he have to offer? Let's be honest. Or Francis Ngannou, who is an MMA guy that stepped in a boxing ring with with Tyson Fury and had a knockdown on him. And don't get me wrong, some of it may have been he did not go in that fight taking it as serious as you're supposed to. But I always kind of wonder how serious is he taking it sometimes. He just hasn't looked good. And it's been BS going on with him for a while now, even outside of the media, him and his family and stuff like that. His dad kind of reminds me of Devin Haney dad. I can honestly do without either one of them being around for 2 different reasons, but they both goofy to me in my personal opinion.
Great comparison.
But he just seems like he just wants to be a star. But when we talk about Usyk, he has 3 of the 4 belts already at the heavyweight class. He's aiming to get that last one to become undisputed heavyweight championship. And the thing about Usyk, his punching is very precise. He's very accurate with his punches. When he throws to connect, and he can put combinations together. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference between a lot of the past few guys that we've seen Tyson Fury fight. Like Francis Ngannou, very inexperienced in the ring. Deontay Wilder, he's not really a tactician when it comes to punching. He tries to set up his punches for the right hand. He just got power. That's it. But for Usyk, he can move. He has very good footwork. He has very good accuracy. He can find his distance, punch, and get out of there. I think the issue is we're talking about 6'3" to 6'9". That's a big difference in height. But I don't think that'll be an issue. This is not the first big guy that he had to fight. Being that you're a heavyweight, especially in boxing, heavyweight is a little insane in boxing. I think they should split the heavyweight division up into 2 more divisions, in my personal opinion. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm taking Alexander Usyk to get the dub and by decision.
I'm actually right there with you, bro. I can really see Tyson Fury losing this fight this weekend for his belt. I think Usyk, he's got it. He's a more technical, well-rounded fighter, just like you said. Tyson Fury, that last fight we seen Fury fight in, I was not impressed whatsoever. I haven't really been too impressed with Fury as of lately, like I was with him like 4 or 5 years ago. But again, regardless, he's a great fighter. That height difference might be a factor. Fury is 6'9", Usyk 6'3". No Diddy, that 6-inch difference might be crazy. But still, Tyson Fury, great fighter. He's well-rounded, but Usyk, he's just a better fighter. And I feel like Fury been ducking Usyk for real. Like I said in the intro of this segment, we've been wanting this fight for a while now. I'm happy that you brought up the Deontay Wilders, the Francis Ngannous, all the other stuff. This is a different breed, and Tyson Fury knows it. And I'm happy that he finally accepted this. So let's just see what happens this Saturday. But I got Usyk. Even at the fighter press conference prior to that fight this Saturday, Fury didn't even look at this man. When they go face off, Fury just looked straight at the crowd. Usyk, he gave him the respect and looked at him. But I'm not saying that Fury's not taking this fight serious. I think he knows Usyk is going to be giving him a run for his money. That's just what I think. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, leave it up to Khalil. I took Khalil's money before. If I was a betting man,
I'm getting it back. Don't worry. I'm getting it back. I'm getting it back real soon. I hope you know that.
It sounds good.
Getting it back. I'm getting it back. All right. You may not be a bad man, but you're going to bet me. That's all I know. I'm going to get mine back. I'm going to get mine back.
That sounds good. I'm
I
gonna
just
keep
had to,
taking lunch money, man.
I just had to I had to let that be known again. I'm gonna get mine back. All
Sounds
right.
good. Like I said, if I was a betting man, y'all can ask Khalil for that info though. I would put my money on Alexander Usyk for this fight. That's what I'm going with, and I feel like it's gonna be a great fight. So make sure y'all tap in this weekend.
Yeah, and like day one, you mentioned like if you was to bet on this fight, you're probably bet Usyk, and it's pretty even money, honestly. Like you could go either way. So the bookies are right deadlock even. So there's not really advantage to picking either fighter in this one. But like you mentioned, if I was to bet on this fight, I would take Alexander to win as well.
Hey, well, you guys got our predictions? We want to hear y'all predictions in the comment section below. Who do you think is gonna win the fight this Saturday? Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk? Like I said, it's going down this weekend. Make sure you guys tap in Saturday night. Again, I'm not telling you how to watch this fight. I'm gonna leave it at that. But tap in, preferably on pay-per-view. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk for the Super Heavyweight Championship. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 64 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tapping in. Whatever platform you guys are watching or listening to us on, we appreciate all the support, all the feedback we've been getting. Make sure y'all rock with us. We can't thank y'all anymore. Make sure you guys check out our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You guys can help us out. Patreon gives you perks such as you a better chance of becoming a guest on this platform and podcast, helping us pick out topics to talk about, merchandise when it comes out, discounts on merchandise when it comes out, free merch when it comes out. You guys will be notified about all this. Again, the link will be down in the description box. Check out our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. We appreciate if you guys could tap into that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys follow us on social media, Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast, TikTok and Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. So we got a big announcement on our next podcast episode that gets dropped Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. We're gonna have a big announcement on that podcast. So make sure you guys tune into that. Because like I said before, we wanted to give y'all something before season 2. We've been working on something. We'll have an announcement ready for you guys on Monday. But until then, make sure you guys keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing. Let your mom, your dad, your cousins, your uncles, your brother, all your friends know, to tap in. We appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting so far. Till next time.
Hey, that is episode 64. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tapping in with us. We'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace.